Oh, how I have to ask you, how do you get all these different accounts?
because the different accounts got special discount.
Okay, let me get rid of that. Yeah, but how does that? Because the Cambly has gone out of its way to restrict. Well, seems to have restricted sort of free trials, and because as I say, I've had a student that I've had for a long time who used to
Mm-hmm.
come in on different accounts all the time. He can't get them anymore. They've all disappeared.
Oh, I think it's not a free trial count because each count I got 1 hour. Usually a free trial count usually got a 15 minutes or half an hour,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Mm-hmm. So,
There is
so
a
mm,
there's a platform here
yeah,
in China called Taobao.
yes,
Taobao is founded by Alibaba. I do not
mm,
have heard that.
yeah, Alibaba,
That
yes,
yeah, yeah. Uh, lots of lots of buyers and who want to buy the things, the service or the products.
yes.
I don't know how they get that kind of specific account from Cambly. This is not bought from the official. I got official account and subscribed it, but
Mm-hmm.
these are other accounts. Different accounts are bought from the uh, not official suppliers.
Well, no, but the thing is, if it's coming through Alibaba, you presume that Cambly is using the Alibaba platform from a marketing point of view. It's
Maybe,
it's
yeah.
it's it's a way of marketing, because if you offer 1 hour lessons for whatever $5 or something, all right,
Hmm. Hmm.
you can actually put that down to marketing costs,
Ah,
all right, because
maybe
basically,
maybe
well,
this counts up for the company advertising strategies. Maybe.
if you think about it, they've got to be out there all the time, wanting to achieve or getting more subscribers. You do through the
And
normal channels of Cambly and YouTube
yeah,
and so on and so on. But another way of doing
mhm,
it is
yeah,
is that you do
definitely.
it through um, your platforms like Amazon or Alibaba,
Hmm.
right, where you
Hmm.
can buy, say, a 1 hour lesson, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you don't buy a subscription, you buy a 1 hour lesson, and the whole thing then hopefully is the person then likes the
Yeah,
platform and then decides to subscribe, because that's ultimately what they're trying to get to.
that's right. That's right. Because this platform Cambly he only teach English, so
Mm-hmm.
Chinese, Indians are maybe the largest groups for their targets, I think, because the population.
Um, no, I speak to 15 countries.
Hmm.
Oh no, they're marketing heavily in Japan, South Korea, China, uh, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Brazil.
Hmm.
Where else do I speak to? And I speak to all of those countries
Oh,
regularly.
you mean the students, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But the users, I think maybe the Chinese and Japanese are the two major groups. They got the biggest quantity, I think.
Um, yeah, probably, maybe. Yeah, look, it's hard to say. Look, bear in mind that the main owner of Cambly is Indian.
Indian?
Yes. Oh, yes.
It was an American company, I think.
Yes, but the
The
two
founder?
founders, yeah, the
Ah,
main founder, who is the CEO, is from mainland India.
okay, all
He
right.
he
That's something
met
I
the
don't
other
know.
guy at
Hmm.
Stanford University.
Hmm.
He went on a scholarship to California, to Stanford University, and he went to the university And the two guys, the American guy and the Indian guy, met in Google. They both worked in Google, right? And that's where it all started. That's where the association started, and they formed a company to copy and digitize books, technical books, medical books, all that sort of thing. And they still run, to my knowledge, that company still runs. That was the...
Do you get the name of the company? So to digitalize the books?
Yeah.
Not Google Books?
No. It's a service. They offer a service to especially technical books to digitize them.
I know a platform called the Z Library. Z Library. Is that
Okay.
familiar to you?
Not offhand, no. But
Okay.
look, they can't be the only ones doing it. They're not the only ones.
Okay.
They got competitors, but that's how they started back in, I think, in 2012.
2012. Oh, okay.
And Cambly only came about 2 or 3 years later. And the main purpose of Cambly was because the founder came to America, and and because he was Indian, his grammar and his vocabulary was good, as most of them are in India, because they all learn English in India in school, right? But they all have a problem in speaking. I'm generalizing, but yes.
Same applicable to me.
No, Indians are much worse than Chinese.
Yeah. I do think it's pretty hard to comprehend. The voice, the tongues are way different, way too different from the standard.
The problem with the Indians is that they speak too fast. And what happens is that even to me as a native English speaker, very hard to understand, very hard. And I haven't had that many, but I've had probably, I don't know, 20, 30 Indian students on Cambly, and you have to slow them down. And the moment you slow them down, then it's much, much clearer. Because as I say, the grammar and their writing is almost native. And that's almost across the whole of India. I've got a young boy who's, I think he's 12, and I mean, from India, and I mean, his English is perfect. I mean, he speaks perfect English with a slight accent, but he's younger, but he speaks slowly.
How could he manage that?
What? To be able to speak? How do you mean? How do you imagine that? What do you mean?
How could he manage that in a pretty young age? As he's native to Indian, he's maybe he can create an environment of native speaking.
But you can do it with your own children. You've got a son, haven't you?
Yeah. I got four years old son. Yeah.
Right. So my granddaughter is 8.
8
years of
Grade 2.
age. Yeah, but she's fluent in 2 languages. 100% fluent. She's native speaker in both languages, English and Spanish.
Spanish.
Right?
She live in Spain or in UK?
Lives in Spain. Yeah. She goes to a Spanish school, everything. All her friends are Spanish. But home language is English. Always has been, ever since she was born. So ever since she's been born, she's heard English. Because father is English speaking, and mother, basically, well, she's Spanish speaking, but her English, American English, is almost perfect. But she lived 5 years in America. All right? So their home language is not Spanish. It's mixed, but if you learn a second language at your son's age, or start to learn from 4 or 5 years of age, they're like sponges. They
can absorb anything you give to them.
yes. I mean, you should seriously think about getting your son to start learning English now.
Yeah, actually, half a year ago, I didn't know this platform. I know this platform because other parents who talking about this, their kids learning. Actually, that's a different platform. Previous, I don't know, the Cambridge Kids.
Yeah, it's Cambly Kids.
Cambridge Kids.
But,
And I actually, as his 4, I started the Enlightenment of English maybe 1 year ago, and the problem I'm facing is that her listening is okay, her speaking definitely not to native level because of my tongue, my pronunciation is heavily affected him. And the listening vocabulary in his age, in native speaker's age, usually in the age of 5, it will reach 4,000. The listening vocabulary, only the words that you hear, you understand. Maybe you can say or cannot say, but you definitely cannot recognize, cannot read. Listening vocabulary only for age of 5 for native speaker, it will up to 4 or 5,000. Currently, his age of 4. Listening vocabulary just reached 2,000.
Okay.
So I think maybe when he's getting older, to up to 12 or 15, he can be fluent in English. But his tongue, the intonation, the stress, different syllables, that kind of thing, I think nearly to native is a little bit difficult. But for writing, reading, it can be.
Yes. Yeah. No, look, as I say, look, he's still young. I mean, he's only 4. I mean, and the thing is that if he has an accent, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's how he communicates is the key.
That's correct. I'm talking to the German colleagues. We both had the accent.
Yeah, well, you see, you have an English accent that is more akin to a German person speaking English.
Definitely.
No, I picked that up already. You can see that you've learnt a lot of your English or speaking from German speaking English.
You can see from that. Okay.
Yes. You don't have the way you say okay. That's typical German speaking English.
What would you say?
No, it's who you are. As I said to you before, it doesn't matter to us.
Yeah.
Because look,
All right.
I think it's because English is so widely used now that we have never. I mean, I had a lady this morning from Japan, and I mean, who's got a very good standard. I mean, and lives in America, lives in Alabama. I mean, works for Honda in Alabama, or her husband does, and she's on about the trying to speak perfectly. And I said, but your English is good. And now she's got an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. And of course, she's meeting Americans at the school functions, etc. And it's not as though she's been there a year, but she lived there previously for 3.5 years. So she's already spent 4.5 years there, right? And her children are now at American school. And she's got this hang-ups that she's trying to get the perfect the perfect accent. She's been on Cambly 5 months. She's gone through 50 tutors. 50.
50.
50. And I said, okay, but have you not got any favorite tutors? She said, I found one. I said, out of 50. I said, what's wrong with all the other tutors? And she says to me, they don't pick me up and correct me in my pronunciation. I said, but they won't. And she couldn't believe it when I said to her, I said, they won't correct you because they are understanding you. So what's the point in correcting you? If your pronunciation is not 100%, I wouldn't pick you up. It's demoralizing, if anything. To me, the worst thing you want, and I only know that from living here in Spain, all right? To speak perfect Spanish. I mean, some people love to correct you. No, that word is not correct, all right? And typically, it's people who have learnt the language as a second language.
Got that.
Right? And you think to yourself, so what? You understood what I said. Just because I didn't correct it I didn't pronounce it 100% correctly, right?
Yes, this may be a mistake when learning a second language. Focus too many on the accent or the grammar.
Yes, exactly.
Totally forget about the comprehensible input and put the materials compelling and make the learning process very happy, less painful.
Well, it's irritating when somebody, if you don't pronounce a word correctly, and I mean, you know, I can't remember. It was an English person whose Spanish is very good. This is a person who basically is married to a Spanish lady. He's traveled around the world for many years, and he's 98% of all his conversations daily is Spanish. Because he lives in a Spanish environment, his wife is Spanish, all his relatives are Spanish. And I mean, he picks me up on one word, and I go to him, and I said to him, Andrew, give me a break. And he looks at me and said, yeah, but you've got to get it correct. I said, and why? And he said, no, because you have to. I said, oh, come on, don't talk rubbish, right? And this is another Englishman, right? Correcting something I said in Spanish. It's crazy.
Okay.
So I'm fully aware of what it's like living in another language area, because I have done for many years. You know, and it doesn't matter.
In some cases, that your tongue, your accent matters is that you think that matters. The speaker is himself.
Yeah, but
He got that kind of stress.
yes, but I mean, I'll give you another example of a guy who's lived here 25 years in Spain. He teaches English to the Spanish. All right, so he's been doing this as a job. All right, and he runs a YouTube channel about Spain and what have you. He's an Australian, right, but married to a Spanish female. His son goes to Spanish school, etc. And he lives in Madrid. So now he's in the heartland of Spanish. All right, okay, they all speak Spanish. His Spanish is good, very good. All right. The Spanish pick him up on what he says because he's not a local. And he said, I know what they're doing. It's discrimination because I'm not one of them. And they make jokes about me if I go to the local bar or whatever. And he says, I know exactly what they're saying, but because my culture is different, right? It's mocking. And he said it, and his comment was, you know, why? What's the point? And there is no point. Because as they say, it's not as though they don't understand him, but his accent is different to where he lives. But his Spanish is perfect.
That kind of discrimination, I think, will happen. I think as a normal educated person, that kind of discrimination will be very rare.
It's common in Europe.
Common in Europe.
Yes.
But
Yes.
for Spain and Portugal, they are the least developed country in Europe.
Agreed. Agreed.
And so that kind of thing. Well, okay.
Yeah, but the problem you've got here is that any foreigner that lives here, they do not openly accept them. If you come and visit, tourist, if you come and retire here, fine, no problem. But if you come here
For
and
work,
different story, all right? Because they believe you're taking work away from the local people. So automatically you are not excluded. You're not welcome in the same way. All right. Now, again, I can relate to living in another country where I was a foreigner again, but there it was English speaking. Well, half English, half Dutch. Now, the Dutch, the Afrikaners who ran the government, hated English, right? Because of what we did to their forefathers.
that's a history I do not know.
No, well, basically, what happened was in South Africa was that the Afrikaans, which was the Dutch settlers that controlled the government, they did from 1947 to 1994. In the Second World War, the British put them in internment camps because they sided with Germany.
Ah,
All right.
the forest.
Yes. So you can imagine that their grandparents or even their fathers, right, did not like.
It is like you
Yes.
people
Oh,
in the
yes.
UK. Yeah.
And that's in English. So anytime I went to a government building, government office, to a bank, to a post office, very, very unfriendly.
So they can tell from your accent that they know that you are UK citizen.
Yes. Because my accent wasn't exactly the same as local South Africans. Similar, but not the same. I don't speak with a South African accent. I've got a part South African accent only because of time of being there. My English has changed. It's different to what it was when I lived in the UK. Even I know that. All right. But
From what point of view, the South African accent and the UK accent are pretty same to me.
No, the English speaking South African accent is the best English accent I've ever come across in the world. It's very, very good. And the big thing is that they speak slowly and they pronounce their words clearly. Just listen to Elon Musk. Listen to him speak. That's South African. That's English speaking South African.
Oh, his words a little bit not very clear to me, I think.
Oh no, his pronunciation, his if you listen to him talking in an interview and what have you, 100% South African. And he's what we call an English speaking South African. Very clear. His pronunciation, his vocabulary, his standard of English, very good.
So for maybe for the tutor to teach the kids in Cambly, I should choose a South African tutor.
Yeah, an English-speaking South African. Yes, yes, yeah.
English South African means that he reason born in South Africa or reason born in UK but moved to South Africa.
Born in South Africa. My sons are English-speaking South Africans. They're not English people from England. They were my youngest son was born there.
Right.
He's never lived in England, and he has 100% English-speaking South African accent.
He never lived England?
No.
Oh, okay.
And my eldest son was 20 months old when he went there. So when he first started to speak, was in South Africa. And again, he did all his education, university, everything in South Africa.
What do you say about that country? The education, the people there, are they more friendly than Europeans?
It's different. It's yes and no. Again, it's different. It's hard to say. You can't.
That's too general. The question is too general.
Yeah. Yes. But no. But as I say, the first thing that hit us when we went there was listening to the English South African speaking, and they really do speak well, very, very well. And that has rubbed off on myself. My pronunciation is much better. I pronounce my words much better, much clearer. I don't speak fast. Even if I get excited, I don't generally speak fast anymore.
That's a good tutor should be.
Yeah, but that's purely because, as I say, when you live in a country, it's like if I went to live in Australia, you would end up with a part Australian accent. You can't help it. It's the same as America. If you go and live in America, you will pick up the accent from there. Right? It's the same way as you've got a German
way of greeting.
No, the way you speak English has a German feel to it.
Yeah, influenced by the colleagues.
Yes, of course. Yes, which is nothing wrong with that at all. No, but it's so no. If you pick. But make sure you pick if you go on to Cambly, pick a tutor with an English name. Right? You'll see a simple English name. There's a big difference. Right? You can see the difference in their names. Right? Because you could easily get what we call an Afrikaans person speaking English. And their English is nowhere near as good.
Okay, I will try.
Yes.
Try to find
look for a South African English speaking tutor for your son in Cambly Kids. There's quite a few on Cambly from South Africa. That I do know. Yeah.
I found one, but it's the timing is not okay.
Oh yeah, okay. The timing would be virtually the same as myself because they're virtually the same time zone. Yeah. I will leave you to this new year. Happy New Year to you on 2024. Okay. See you again.